One of the ways to master coffee is to know your why. My why so far is curiosity. Just wanting to know more about coffee, why it does what it does, why it tastes the way it tastes, with all the parameters and things that we have with us. I just want to know more of it. I want to geek out. I want to get frustrated. I want to get to the point to where I know it all. And I know if I do this thing versus that thing, I'm going to get the taste that I want out of it. Or if I do another thing, I'm going to get something totally different. With all the gear, accessories, water chemistry, and of course the coffee. This journey so far of trying to master coffee has been a lot of fun. It's been more fun than frustrating. There are things that have happened that I question why I'm doing this, but it's just as equally rewarding as I go through this journey, more so by myself. I'm so glad that I am documenting whatever I'm going through right now because I believe this can help other people. And as I say that, one of the biggest things that we have to understand, because people always say that, I always kind of cringed at when people say, what's your why? What's your why? What's your why? That matters. And no matter who you're dealing with, everybody's why is different. And if you don't know your why, you don't know which direction that you want to go in, at least initially. Because I'm not going to lie, all of that stuff actually changes when you're actually doing the damn thing, trying to figure things out and all that stuff. So, as it was in the beginning of the year, being scared shitless about this whole journey thing, I've come to realize is that as long as I push through, as long as I try to understand as much as I can, that's all I can do because things will start to unravel. Things will start to get more clear. Things will stop being, I guess, frustrated, lack for a better word. But I guess the biggest kicker here is that it's a journey worth going down. And if you're not in the season of trying to master coffee, probably that's not the right terminology. Trying to figure out something in coffee, then probably second guess why you're doing this. Because I think now, especially now that we do this, is that it's more than just a morning cup. It's more than just drinking it and going about your day. Don't get me wrong, those days are needed. They're needed more than what you think. But if we're geeking out, trying to figure out a bag, trying to dial it in, trying to see how it works for our palates and everything, we're already committed. And one thing that I've noticed years before and all that stuff is that I will commit to a couple things. I'll commit to only darkly roasted to medium roasted coffees. I will shy away from lightly roasted coffees. Not only that, I will only use like a cone shaped filter brewer, like the Hario V60. Things like that. I wouldn't really go that deep into the whole science and craft of all of this stuff. But now that I am, I realize is that you're going to have to tackle every little spectrum of what you're trying to do. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to lie. There are some times that things are still frustrating with me. Like, for instance, paper filters. I'm still going to do the series. I just don't know how I'm going to do it now that I'm actually testing each filter like separately, randomly, as I brew my cup of coffees from time to time. But I think there's more hype with marketing involved with what you're actually going to do or get out of these paper filters. For instance, there's a Quebec paper. Can't remember the number, but this paper focuses on body and sweetness. How can it really do that? You know? or just a regular faster filter than a Hario V60 from Quebec, you know, it works really well. It's a lot faster. Some brews, some situations call for that. There's also the Hario V60 paper filters. They're slow as fuck. They are. We all know that. I wouldn't necessarily say that's a drawback. You can go a lot coarser on your grind, play around with it that way. And then we have the Seabreeze fast filters. You know what I'm talking about? Those expensive filters. Those ones that I'm like, do I have enough coffee in the in my my batch to make this? Because I don't want to waste it. You know, I was thinking about that. And then as I dive deeper into actually using those actual paper filters, I've come to realize is that there is something to them. A little bit more dramatic than what people say they are. Everything comes with subtlety, which we'll talk about a little bit more. But it's there. I see the difference. I see that you can actually get a little bit more out of your coffees, depending on all the things that you have to do in order to do that, which is kind of misleading, but it is what it is. So the paper filter thing, that's the thing I kind of really struggle with, because for me, most and all of it can really work. I have the Kalita Wave filters right now, the April filters, and of course the fast filters. And all of them work in different situations, depending on whatever you're trying to do. And if I know which paper filter I'm going to use, then I just adjust the grind size accordingly. And I can still really get a tasty cup. So it's not really so much of a, you know, like what we like to do. This one's better than this. They all work. But I am going to get down to the nitty gritty about trying to figure that out, because I think that's one of the things that we're going to have to get a little bit more technical, more out there, to really try to understand if there is really a difference, because certain cases it is, and other cases, majority of the time it's not. So those are some of the things that I still struggle with right now. But one of the biggest things in this whole journey so far that I've come to realize and try to understand as much as I can is that if you're really geeking out, if you're really trying to understand the craft of coffee brewing, is that it's in the small things. It's in the subtlety of things. It's the things that kind of get you going in a way to where you are really picking out the nuances. And if you could start to do that, you're really on your way. Meaning that if you do this particular variable change and you taste your coffee, what are the things that you're tasting? How does it change? Is it a variable change, or is it just not that big of a deal? What is it? Those are some of the things that I think about when I'm really there. And the subtlety things are the things that it's just small. It's so small that you'll miss it. And I think that's the thing that I'm really understanding and liking so much, is that it's allowing me to pay attention more. It's allowing me to slow down. It's allowing me to just see that particular coffee for whatever it is and expand my mind, and then just stay there in the pocket a little bit longer. I don't know why I keep saying that football term, right? The quarterback staying in the zone where they can throw the football. But that's the biggest thing. You're not going to see the subtletiness of the coffee or the differences of the coffee if you're moving too fast. For instance, I knew there were slow drawdown coffees, but now that I'm actually experiencing it and seeing it for myself, I'm like, wow, what does this really mean for us? Do we have to approach the brewing process differently? Do we have to see it for what it is? What is it? That's more so the things that we're trying to really see what the coffee is doing for us. And as I look at that, I start to change the way I look at it. I start to approach it a little differently. Sometimes I push myself to let the slow drawdown be what it is, and still be able to make a decent cup of coffee. I've also understand that there's still some coffees that I just don't like. And now the biggest kicker about all of that is that I can explain to you exactly why I don't like them. You know, I can tell you the nuances or how it tastes too lemony and it's one notey and all that stuff. Talking about you, Ethiopian coffee. Well, this one in particular, white honey, slow drawdown. And I can tell you why a coffee is special to me, why it talks to me. I think that's one of the biggest things, and I'm still not all the way there. But I think that's the things that I'm leaning towards or understanding even more so as I go through this whole mastery process. Will I master coffee? Most people will say no. You're full of shit. Just drink the damn coffee, as some people will say, which is true. But this is a lot of fun. I'm not going to lie. This gives me that hope and wonder that coffee can still be interesting no matter how we look at it, no matter how we focus and try to just treat it more than just a beverage that we drink all the time. I think that's the biggest kicker here. It gives me that sense of hope, that sense of like just wanting to go down the journey even more so, trying to figure it out, try different brewing methods. Like I've been really enjoying the percolator. It's been a lot of fun. I've been really enjoying all these different type of brewers that I have to really just step back and understand them for what they are. Even going deeper into the water chemistry of things, seeing how that really affects the coffee. Those are the things that I'm dealing with right now. Those are the things that I'm more so trying to understand the best way that I can. And I think that's the cool thing about this whole journey thing. All the different variables that you can play around with, the ones that truly, really matter. Like, for instance, will come out soon, but the whole kettle thing. I don't think we realize how much of the kettle lies, how much that we just trust whatever that kettle reading is. And then how much water we're actually putting in a cup of coffee, how that affects the heat up it stays at that temperature. How using the mellow drip is fun for a while, but then after a while, it's just another tool that it's not that big of a deal. Or whatever else we decide to use. Those are some of the things that I think about a lot. Like, really, what matters? Because to an extent, all of it does matter. But truthfully, really, there's only a couple of things that really matter about this whole thing. But I just don't want to just focus on the 80%. I want to focus on the 100%. I want to focus on all of it because all of it does matter. Because it gives us that chance to actually try out all the variables that we're trying to do when we're trying to make a really good cup of coffee. And then I think we'll get there eventually to make great cups of coffee. I've already experienced that already with this Colombian medium roast that I've had. I didn't notice it before. It was something that I thought that was just okay. Probably I just needed more time with it. But the couple of things that I have done with it, use this grinder, use this pouring technique, didn't matter. It's really special to me. And I think that's really where I'm getting at. It's like trying to find the nuance and the specialness of all the stuff, even the coffees that don't really work and gel with us. Those are the things that are still elusive in the journey of not really understanding, being naive and ignorant in the whole process. But that's fun. That's fine. That's okay. Those are the things that we're going to figure out together or not. You're going to give me suggestions or not. And we're just going to keep putting ourselves out there in order to understand all that we want to do. So that's where I'm at with this journey right now. I'm curious. I'm hopeful. I'm happy. I'm excited because it's something that I have looked forward to doing the past. I think I wanted to do this for a while. I needed something or reason to do it. And I guess just the turn of the year just kind of pushed me into that direction. We're going to find sweetness in lightly roasted coffees. We're going to damn try hard. We're going to find why I like a medium and dark roasted coffee. Is it more so the sweetness and a little bit of the acidity that just makes me excited about it? Or it just depends more so about that coffee? Do all of them work that way? Those are the things that we're going to figure out. Those are the things that I hope that I stay curious about as long as I can. Because truthfully, that's my driving force. Just wanting to know more, understanding why it really works. So, what is your why? What is your why in coffee? Why do you like it? Why don't you? What are the things that keep you up at night? Is it dialing in that new bag of coffee that you don't quite understand? Are you lacking in the knowledge of the water chemistry of what you're actually trying to do? What is it? Why do you like what you like? Do you like cold brew? Why do you like it? Really ask yourself these questions. Because if you know, then that's your journey. That's the journey that you're going to go on. No matter what anybody says to you about what you should do, what you shouldn't do. What is your why? Or is it also curiosity? What are you curious about in coffee? Let me know. Talk to you later. Bye.